Champions Cup Semi Finals. It's all on, man. We got Saracens and Racing 92 in the first one. It's an interesting one because technically, from the qualifying positions, it's 8th in Saracens against 5th in Racing 92. Now, both of these teams came out of Pool 4. It's a bit weird looking that far back, given how long ago the pool stages were. But that's just the path that both of them had in order to get through to those quarterfinals. In those quarterfinals, Racing last week with an away trip to Clermont, 36-27, very high scoring game. And then Saracens with, I think, what on paper seemed like a pretty big upset, but talking to, or at least in the comments, a lot of the fans, you know, a lot of people not that surprised that Saracens managed to get the job over Leinster last week, 25-17. Massive result still, but kind of reminiscent of that final last year, I suppose. Interestingly, both these teams did really largely well at scrum time, especially Saracens, but also Racing 92. So you got to think, if there's parity, it could be a pretty tight game this time. If one side can get on top like last week, then that may be a slightly easier road to a potential final. But we will see. Both these semi-finals are English teams against French teams. There's no more Pro 14 teams left. So, yeah, we could see an all-English final, all French, or another mixed one. We will see. I'll go through the lineups quickly and who the favourites are. You guys can let me know your thoughts on how you think this one is going to go. The first game, I should say this game kicks off my time. It's like 12 a.m. So it's an afternoon game over there in, or midday game over there in France, in Paris. And that indoor stadium is a pretty slick one. It does look nice on camera. I've been told by some fans that the upper decks often are empty, but hopefully they get a crowd socially distanced like they did at the Clermont game. I'm not sure what the rules are. But anyway, teams. Racing have kept things pretty steady. It is Benarou, Chat, and Colombe in the front row. Bird is continuing on at lock, but Donica Ryan joins him. So there's no Leroux this week. I didn't read if he was injured or if he's just been dropped. Lore, Sanconi, and Klassen make out the back row. So Ryan is the only change in the tight, or in the front row, to be fair. Iribarren is captain at 9. Russell's at 10. Klemenchek and Bakatawa is that very sizable midfield, especially with Bakatawa. Imhoff had a great game last week, and he continues on. Teddy Thomas has had to come in because Dupichot is out. He had a pretty lengthy time getting off the field. I think someone mentioned in the comments that it was more of a gash than anything terrible. So hopefully he gets fit and well soon. But Teddy Thomas is certainly a live wire. He's a bit of a risk-reward player, but it kind of fits having like Finn Russell running the show, and then Simon Zebo at the back. So there's a lot of game breakers in that Racing side. Schuzen is there on the bench. Tranduk scored a try last week. He's on the bench. Machino, so there's certainly a fair bit of experience there. So just the two changes as far as I'm aware. Saracens have kept things pretty steady. I think Michael Rhodes, didn't he get cited for that game last week, but he's not been banned, so it's good news for Saracens because he was immense last week. For Saracens, it's Vunipola, Jamie George, and Vincent Cox, and it's the same front row as last week. Itoje and Swinson, same second row as last week, and Rhodes, Jackson Ray, and Billy V in the back row. Same team as last week, so keeping it steady. Wigglesworth with those box kicks of his was definitely on point. They'll need to see more of the same. And Alex Good is at 10. His boot was also very assured, and that try he scored was a sneaky little run as well. So more of the same, please, would say Saracens fans. Brad Barrett's captain at 12. Duncan Taylor's 13. So there's a fair bit of beef in that midfield as well. Maitland, Lewington are the wings. Lewington, at least early on under the high ball, was pretty assured. So that might be another tactic they go at. And then Elliot Daly with that cannon boot of his is there at 15. Ella Davis is still there. Manu Vunipola's on the bench. Barrington. So, yeah. Interestingly, I guess between these two sides, I mean, they've hardly made any changes, which is, it makes sense. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they actually played each other in the pools because they were in the same pool. Remember, Racing got a really comfortable victory over them in those opening rounds. It was like 30 points to 10. But if memory serves, that's when Saracens hadn't been docked the full amount of points, so they were probably putting all their effort into surviving the Premiership. They were later to get docked more points, so the Premiership became a foregone conclusion, and then they shifted their focus back to the Champions Cup. So you probably can't read too much into that previous result. It's last year. I remember we're already towards the end of 2020 now, so it's virtually ancient history, but it is there. It was a pretty comfortable win at the same ground. And then the return fixture is the one, I think it was I wrote it down, 27-24 to Saracens in London. And that was like a key victory to get them through. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to make it through to the knockout stages and then get that result over Leinster. So, yeah, when they play their full-strength side, it's a pretty tight one. It will be interesting to see the Saracens, guys, because they had such a long time where that Leinster game was their only big game to get up for. And they gave so much last week. Can you do that 2 weeks in a row? That's going to be a big question. Same mentality as there, it's just without that kind of same build-up. And Racing, I guess, back at home, they'll give them a bit of an advantage as well because both sides away from home last week. So, yeah. In terms of the favourites, if you look at Rugby Forecast algorithm, they have got Racing by 2 points. And if you look at the bookies, at least over here in New Zealand, they have got Racing by 3 points. So picking this one to be a very, very close fought battle. It should be a good game. Tons of internationals on display. So, yeah, until international rugby gets back, this is one of the next best things. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Who are you guys picking to get the job done? Do you think there'll be kind of a fairy tale ending for Saracens before they go down to the championship? Or do you think Racing, with their very much attack-minded side, will be able to cut the Saracens guys to bits like they did in that 2019 game? It will be an interesting one to see. 12 a.m. midnight for me. I feel like I'm going to watch this one in the morning, belatedly. So the the review video for mine will be very, very much after the fact. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts on this one. Who are you backing? Who do you think's going to win? Who do you want to win? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.